It didn't bother me at all that Stronger came first for the simple reason, I do mama said, a person's word is their bond. And I knew it would eventually come. Couldn't say when, but that was your word that you was going to put out. Mama said. I just took the word.
I can't deal with mama.
Mhm.
Hi, this is Dr. Teresa Smith, Dr. Taz. Thank you for joining me today. I am waiting, hopefully, for my sister to appear. I have an announcement that I want to make, but I don't want to make the announcement by myself. And so we have been working on the technical difficulties in the background, and I'm waiting on her to appear. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. It just does not want to invite her. I don't know why. Does not want to invite her in. So that's not going to work. Oh, maybe she's trying to come in and she needs me to admit her. Let's see here. Hi, Angelia. I am trying to bring you on camera. Oh, here they come. Here she comes.
Oh, Lord. Can you see us?
Not really. But just the camera, baby.
Honey, I don't know if I'm
Just
able to. Oh, God, I'm
no.
falling.
Look
I'm falling.
around.
I can't
Okay.
get up. Hold on. Hold it.
You don't fall and
Girl,
you
we
can't get up.
were doing good until we got on with you. Okay, are we in? Can you see? I know you
You're
can see
in.
me. Can you, Mommy,
I
got the
can't see the
camera.
other.
You tried to sit up
I
on the
can't see that other person. I don't know why I can't
You
see them.
can't see us.
I see you. I can't see the other person.
Ma, you got to lean in. Do you see her?
I
I'm a
kind of
little
see her.
short, as you know. I said that we could switch places, but she said, I'm still going to be short, whatever. But at least you probably more in the camera, though.
I'm telling you.
Yes, we act like this all the time.
Yeah, and I'm glad she's already said that she's short. You know, I often say to people, and I can say this because she's here now, and it may not be politically correct, but I can say it, guys, and those who understand my family are going to get it real quick. I call little people, and I can say that because I come from little people. My daddy is 6 feet, so I got to be 5'4.5". My mother's father was 4'11". So when I talk about little people, I'm talking about my family because they are short in stature, but only in stature. But then some of my grandfather's siblings were a little bit taller, but my grandfather was not 5 feet. So I'm so glad that you guys decided to join me. I've been trying to get you forever.
Well, thank you for having us. You know, on my day off, I had to come home and do some work.
Yeah. And this is a day of service, and I couldn't think of a better day to make the announcement that I am releasing my new book, which is called Transformation: How Mama's Wisdom Unlocks the Secrets to Success. And guys, understand, I have Mama with me today, but some of you have heard me talk to Mama because Mama's always with me. Don't keep turning the camera on, Jay, because y'all get me. You go on sideways like this.
We on this
and lean
roller
this way.
coaster, okay? You should be used to it.
Get off the roller coaster, because grandmama would say, get off the roller coaster. Excuse me. And so, anywho, those who heard me cook, you've heard me talk to Mama on the phone, and I'd be like, Mama think this is her show. Well, this is Mama. Mama ain't no joke. I'm always talking about Mama. Now, Jay's always talking about Mama. But Mama is a hoot. You hear me say that all the time. But I want you to picture this. 14 years ago, I had an idea. Probably 13 years ago. But 14 years ago, she sent me a list of sayings that her mother would share. And we have been on a road, on a journey since May of 2011. And I just keep that in mind, May of 2011. I got to back it up some. First of all, I need you to understand that my mother is a hoot. But my mother is an interesting person, so am I. I get some of my quirkiness from her, and I accept it. It is what it is. But my mother had one whole sibling, meaning that her mother had just two children with my grandfather, the person I just talked about, was very short. Well, back in the day, when I was growing up, even for a couple of years, but back in their day, they used to have what was called the May Day Festival. And so my mother was going to be on the court one year. And so they went to the festival. And at the May Day event, my grandmother had a stroke. My grandmother was rushed to the hospital, and she was about to come home, and she had another stroke. And so she didn't come home. My mother was a senior in high school, if I'm not mistaken. And so, of course, she lost her mother. And growing up, my mama would always say, my mama said. And that's how she instilled moral compass in me. That's how she instilled the importance of being comfortable in your skin. I think we used to say when I was a little girl, I may not be a size 2, but be comfortable with it. That's how I learned. And one of the stories that my mother shared with me that my grandmother actually shared with her was about a lady whose daughter wanted to go somewhere. And her mama told her she couldn't go. And so, they probably went back and forth. And so the lady says, okay. And the daughter says, okay. Well, eventually the police come to the lady's house and they're like, ma'am, I need you to come. Your daughter's been in an accident. And so the lady's like, no, my daughter's not been in an accident. And they're like, yes, ma'am, your daughter's been in an accident. She's like, no, ma'am. She's like, no, sir, she hasn't. And eventually she goes to the bedroom and she realizes her daughter is not there. And so she goes with the police. Once she gets there, she walks around to the passenger side of the door, of the car. Her daughter is sitting there, makeup fine, leg crossed. She has a cigarette in between her two fingers. She looks fine, but her neck is broken. My mother told me that story, and I've never forgotten it. Because what she was trying to get me to understand then was, one, you don't sneak out. And once you make a commitment, you need to honor that commitment. Well, that's just one of many stories that my mother shared with me that had been passed along from my grandmother. Now, my grandmother's name was Laney Tillman Rivers Bennett. She was married two times. And my grandfather was married 4 times, but my grandfather's another story. But my grandmother was Laney Tillman Rivers Bennett. Periodically, I would say to my mother, I was Miss Laney's granddaughter today. And I did that recently, probably not a Taz moment, because I told Mom, I said, I was Miss Laney's granddaughter today. She knows what that means, because I said it periodically over the years, because Miss Laney was a woman among women. She was a woman that if I'd had an opportunity to know her, I refer to her as a Renaissance woman. She would have been a person that I would have sat at her feet, just absorbing all of the knowledge that she could impart. My mother would say, well, my mama said. And it may be irritating to people to hear her say it because she says it so emphatically. My mama said, my mama said. That's the way she would say it to us. My mama said. But as I've gotten older and I've thought about it, the reason she says it so emphatically is because she lost her mother before she graduated high school. So all she had was, my mama said. My mama said, Gloria, you can push your red wagon or you can pull it. It's up to you, Gloria. My mama said. My mama said, if you can't run with the big dogs, sit on the porch. My mama said. My mama said. And so that's all I heard growing up was, my mama said. My mama said it. My mama said that. Well, as I got older, because I've always been a precocious little girl, I was talking about writing my book, and we all know that book became Stronger, How Overcoming Life's Adversity Can Push You Into Your Purpose. We talked about Mama Said too. My mama said, and we had these debates back and forth because as I got older, my thought processes expanded. And it was not just, my lady said, hey, mama, my thoughts, she said, hello, Meredith. It wasn't just what my mama gave me. It was like, I'm learning, I'm experiencing things. And I'm like, it's bigger than what you think, mama. Because mama probably didn't have the luxury to talk back and forth with grandma the way she did with me. And I would say to her, oh, I know where she got this from. This is coming from the Bible. And I would say to her, you know, think about da 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 da. And so we would go back and forth for years, back and forth, back and forth. So in May of 2011, she sent me the first list of the Mama Says. And I said, okay, we're writing a book. We're writing a book, Mama. We're writing a book. Well, we've been writing a book for 14 years. In that time, I've written Stronger. I've written a whole lot of books. And I would work on Mama Said. And Mama Said was supposed to come last year. But then I wrote Dr. Todd Speaks. And I said to Mama, I said, Mama Said is coming. And she said, okay, daughter. You know, Mama's so funny. Y'all know Mama. Those at home that know Mama, you know Mama's coming. And so, anywho, I said to Mama at the end of the year, I said, Mama Said is coming. I said, I have written her, but I'm going to rewrite her. I said, the way I was writing her, guys, and this is the way it was always in my mind. I wanted to take my grandmother's saying and then give you the way I saw it as a 21st century person. And I was, you know, I was not always going to put a little story there to help you understand it. But then life happened. And I said, okay, God, you ready for me to write Mama Said now? Because the way I have written her now is not the way I would have written her at the first of last year or 10 years ago. That's not what I would have given you. So what I've done now is I've written Mama Said, and she's going to be released in February of 2025, which is Black History Month. And the reason I wanted her released in February is because it's Black history. I could not be the person I am without Mama Said. I could not be stronger if it wasn't for Mama Said. As I've done interviews recently, I thought about how is it that I did manage to endure all the things that I've endured and continue to endure. Well, like I said, Grandma said, it's your wagon, baby. You can push it or you can pull it. What you gonna do? Grandma said, you know, you can sit on the porch if you want to, if you can't run with the big dogs. Grandma said, if they can do it, baby, you can do it too. My mama said it. Mama said it. Sunk into my DNA in such a way that I didn't even think about it because I know that I can. I don't have to be a size 2 to know that I look good because I've been much bigger than a size 2, much bigger than what I am now. But when I was heaviest, at my heaviest, I still was a beautiful Black woman because Mama said I could be anything. I was pretty. If they could do it, you could do it. So Mama Said it's coming. Thank you so much, Marley. Mama Said it's coming. It has been a labor of love, and I could not make the announcement without Mama. Now, Mama, she don't know what I'm gonna ask her, because even if this was a real talk with Todd's interview, I wouldn't tell her what I was gonna ask her. Mama,
Yes.
are you to say yes? Yes, daughter. Okay.
Yes, daughter.
Mama,
I thank you for having me on your show today. I'm sure that I'm going to enjoy it. I'm sure your listeners are going to enjoy it. I'm going to try to be myself. I'm going to try now. Or you
now, I done told you, Mama, I need you to be yourself. Don't try to dress yourself up. Just be yourself, Mama. Because I done told you people can understand when you're not real, Mama. You know, we done had conversations about that our whole life. Come on, Mama. Thank you so much, Cyrus. Thank you so much. He was like, congratulations. So glad for you. Mama, did you ever think, after all these years, that this book would finally be published?
Well, I knew that, daughter, I knew that you were eventually getting around to publishing that book because we have discussed it all of your life. Not the book part, but the Mama Said part. Because Mama said, if anybody else can do it, you can do it too. And you left off the little part, you can do it better. Don't mean
Oh, I'm
no harm,
sorry,
but that's what
Mama.
it stated.
Oh,
And you might
okay,
not do it
okay. So I'm
better,
gonna
but
have to
that's what
make
Mama
that
said.
note. Okay, I'm gonna have to make, because I think that one might actually be in the book. So I'm gonna have to say, do
She
it
can do
better.
it better.
I take and okay, Mama. Thank you, Mama. That Mama's so good. So you knew that I was going to eventually
Mhm.
do it. Well, now we have talked about this book. Like I said, when I go back and look, the first, because I looked again before we came live, it was May 11th.
Okay.
That's 2011 that you sent me that list. And you know, I have sent you different stories, different versions all this time. Now, when I released Stronger, when I released Stronger, how did you feel knowing that we had already been working on Mama Said, but now I done released Stronger? How did you feel about that?
Truthfully, it didn't bother me a bit. It didn't bother
It
me.
didn't bother
It
you?
didn't bother me at all that Stronger came first, for the simple reason, I do Mama said, a person's word is their bond, and I knew it would eventually come. Couldn't say when, but that was your word that you was gonna put out. Mama said, and that was it.
Yes, I can't,
I just took the
I
word
can't
of
deal
it.
with Mama.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was taught that sometimes it's to the detriment, Mama, that your word is your bond.
Mhm.
And that's how I've lived my life. So you're right, because you taught me that your word is
Mhm.
your bond, and so that meant I was going to put that book out. And I've said to several people over the last 14 months, I got to get that book done because it had been taking too long. I got to get this book done. And I'm a dreamer because you've known me my whole life. And I don't know if I told you that I've told people I gotta get it done because I know you get to feeling some kind of way when I start talking that type of talk. But it was like I gotta get it done. I just gotta get this book done because yes, I said I was gonna do it, but I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. And I don't know if everybody thought I could get it done because let me say this, guys, the book cover was ready last year, and we went through a whole lot to get the book cover ready. And I don't know if you remember, Mama, but I will say this to you guys so that you'll know it's there. There's a butterfly because I have a piece of jewelry that I made to go with Stronger, and on the book cover, Stronger is written on the spine of the butterfly for Mama Said because I could not be here without Mama Said. And I think about my work ethic sometimes, and I shouldn't say this publicly, but I'm gonna do it. Sometimes I would like to not be a person that worked towards excellence,
Yeah.
but I grew up in a household
Yeah.
that said you be the best at everything you do. You may fall short, but you're gonna work to be the best at everything. So those days where I would like to pull back and not do as much, it don't work that way. Now some people may say, "Oh, we got it." No, you don't have me. That's my work ethic that drives me. It's not what you say or do. And so now, Mama, he's coming out. He's coming out now.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think Grandma would say? Let me say this before you answer that. Guys, I never met my grandmothers because I just told you she passed. She died right before my mother graduated from high school. But Mama talked about it all the time. So I could talk to you about Grandma Laney as if I knew her. I know that much about her. And I can't say that my other siblings, Anjaya or Meredith, can talk about her, but I can talk about Grandma because I'm the firstborn and I heard about her probably every day. So I can talk about her as if I knew her, and I never knew her. What do you think Grandmama would say, Mama, that I'm writing about the stuff that she used to tell you, the sayings?
Before I try to answer that, let me say this. But you said you were kind of like driven. Okay? Mama said, it doesn't matter what you do. If you happen to be the floor sweeper, you better sweep that floor better than anybody else can, or better than anybody else ever will sweep that floor. You better be the best
Yep,
at it. Okay? Now, getting
yep,
back to Mama's book, Mama said, I think she would say, granddaughter, thank you for continuing the saying that I tried to put into your mother, that she put into you, and you will be able to put those words into others. And as we read Mama saying, there might be words that you could not put out there, but I want every person that read that book to put in their minds the situation, and it'll help you. Don't, don't just take those words there, what Mama said, and the words that you put there. I don't know what situation that anybody may be in, but if you read those words and then put it to your situation, you can bring yourself out of it. I guarantee you, because I've done it all my life. Mm-hmm. I've done it all my life. And they can do it too. But they got to realize what they're reading, though. Mm-hmm. You got to realize what you're reading.
Mm-hmm. And that is the best compliment, Mama. You know, everybody know I've been on a crying phase for the last 6 months. That's okay. And maybe it's because I was going to bring Mama Said finally forward. Because you're right, you know, I've experienced a lot of different things. And, you know, even when I think about my early work life, you know, it was challenging. And it has not always been easy for me being the youngest person on the job, because now I'm not the youngest person on the job. So I had to operate a certain way. And I was able to do that based upon the lessons that I had learned, because I would have been considered opinionated with no experience if I had shared things that needed to be shared that would have helped us. So I had to learn to navigate that. You know, I often say, Mama, and I've said this to you, you know, you once said to me, you're just too bold, you're just too bold. And because of Mama saying that, she did, I told you. And so because of that, I had to change how I spoke, which made me very wordy. And I don't like it. Sometimes I'm not wordy, guys. But when I'm not wordy, sometimes I might be a little bit curt. Come on, say it. But I learned I had to be long-winded in order to help people, you know, so it wouldn't come across like, who does this little child think she is? And they still say that to me now, because they still would be older than me. Who does she think she is? But we have to understand everybody has gifts and talents, and we should be open to that. So you would say, Mama said, you can learn from a dog, just don't take up time with it. Is that what I'm saying? But that ain't in this book. This ain't in this particular version of the book. But yeah, that's what Mama said. You can learn from a dog, just don't take up time with them. I'm telling you. The Mama saying ain't no joke. Now that one ain't in this edition of the book. But you see how they just come, because I've heard them all my life. But again, what she was saying in this particular instance, you can learn from everybody. Don't think you are too good to learn from somebody. You learn from everybody, but then you have to determine how you're going to interface, how you're going to interact with that person. Because just because I've learned something from you, I don't want to lose my moral compass.
There you go.
So that's so much that, you know, like my mama just said, when you read Mama Say, I've got some stories there that I've tried to make engaging for you to think about it. But there are so many different interpretations I have for those different sayings that I want you to use the stories and then think about your situation, as my mama said, because again, it will help you. It has helped me when I didn't know it was helping me. It helps me all the time. And I am just so grateful that God allowed me to get this book done.
Thank you, Jesus.
And that my mother is still here, and that she gets to share this with me, because that is so very important to me, that she gets to see that I have brought her mother's words to the world. You know, and my hope is that it will help other people as it has helped me throughout my whole life, and it continues to help me. Angelia, anything you want to say about Mama Saying?
The only thing I would say is you're definitely in for a treat. I mean, of course, for those that know me, I am like the queen of procrastination. So of course, like Teresa sent me this book and was like, I need you to read it at your leisure. Well, for those that know leisure mean, whenever you get around to it. And of course, because of the deadline, she was like, look, I'm just gonna read it to you. Does that work for you? I was like, girl, I'm always down for a story. Come on, just read it to me. So of course, as she's like reading it, like, we're making edits, making commentary, and just reflecting on those words of wisdom because I've heard them too. And even come to find out, like some of the sayings that I've heard, she never heard of. So they got added, and there's some that will be added in the next edition, which I'm excited about. But I really do think that when you read Mama Said, when you read it, and the stories that goes with it, I promise you're going to reflect and be like, that reminds me of somebody. Whether you're the person that's been in that situation or someone that's been in that situation, it's definitely going to hit home. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I've been hearing about it, as she said, for the last 11 years, 14 years.
14.
All my life. All my life.
All your life you had to fight.
I had to fight. Okay. I've been fighting to get this book to print. Now here we are. It's about to be at print, and I'm excited, and I'm ready for y'all to read it. Can't wait to hear the feedback, because you're definitely in for a treat.
You really are. You really are in for a treat. And the book is universal.
Yeah.
Because
it is.
Most people, I don't care who you are or where you go or where you've been, you still have some of the same issues in your life. And you may not have known how to handle them carefully, but if you did, read it and you will now. And you have to excuse me for laughing because they know I very seldom laugh. And I always laugh at the wrong time. So
you always do, Mama.
At the wrong time when I get tickled. And I don't know how I want to get tickled now because Mama says those are true sayings that I grew up with daily. And I live with those sayings today. And I have had a few people to tell me, oh, I'm so tired of you talking about Mama said. And I look at them like, you really need to, your mother really need to have told you some sayings too. But I'm so sorry that they didn't. But I'm gonna get them, I'm gonna buy them a copy myself of this book so they can see. I'm gonna buy them a copy myself. Because they really told me, I'm tired of you talking about that, Mama saying. I told them, and I didn't argue with them. I just went,
But the thing is, though, it is very educational. Like, I mean, of course, there's like, it's going to be a little, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little different than what you are used to reading from Dr. Taz, as she liked to be, as she's called herself, Dr. Taz. It's going to be a little different. She was definitely looking for, the wow factor and the shock factor. And baby, you're definitely going to get it. And trust and believe, when you read them stories, people going to pop in your head and you're gonna be like, oh, that remind me of such and such. That gonna remind me of such and such. Girl, I remember when I was in school and remember we did such and such. I'm glad that we didn't get caught up. Like, I'm telling you, like, you're definitely in for a treat. It is definitely worth reading over and over and over again because these are lessons that, yes, our grandmother instilled in our mother back in the day, as they say, but it is so relevant in 2025. Like, this is something that it'll never go away because unfortunately, as they say, the faces change, but the game remains the same. So when you read these stories and you read the sayings, you will realize that, yeah, the game remained the same, even when it was in the 40s, the 60s, the 70s, the early 2000s, and in 2025. But them players, they changed. But that game that they ran then, they still running that game now. The only difference is that they may have perfected it. But it's up for you to realize that, baby, game recognized game, checkmate.
Thank you, thank you.
Game recognized game.
And how old did I have to become before I ran into one of Mama's friends?
Oh, we jumped about how
I'm smiling, folks. I'm not
You don't
smiling.
let the dog lick in your mouth, Mom.
Yeah,
You don't let the dog lick in
oh
your
my
mouth.
God, we were having this conversation. It was just last year, a few days ago. And she, me and her were talking, and she was like, Lord, Mama, I done let the dog lick me in my mouth. You done told me all my life, don't let that dog lick you in your
Oh. Mm-hmm. And she let the dog lick her in the mouth. And we're not talking about the four-legged dogs.
No, we're not talking about the four-legged dogs.
We're talking about these two-legged dogs now. But Mama, I know you keep smiling on me. I redeemed myself, though. Absolutely. I redeemed myself. When I redeemed myself, I redeemed myself. But I did ask the Lord to forgive me, though.
Well, bless you. He'll forgive you. He'll forgive you. He's already done it. He's already
Absolutely.
done it. Bless you, Miss Gloria. Again, I'll probably have you on my talk show, Mama, so just get ready.
Oh.
I'm just letting you know. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. I want to thank
you. Thought this was it.
Who knows? You never know.
Okay.
Well, bless you. I want to thank my neighbor, Dr. Bobby Little, for joining us. I want to, hey, Nick, Margie Nick said hello. Congratulations. Hey, Nick. Nick, Mama said hello, but I know you can hear her. I want to thank my Sarah for joining us, Eddie Bailey Holden for joining us, a woman of God. Fonte said, hello, my OES sisters. You know Fonte, Mama. Grew up right beside me for years. I love Fonte. And like I said, Nick joined us. So again, guys,
the third P.
Marley is Marley. Thank you, Angelia, for Marley number 2. It's an inside joke. Angelia and I are 18 years apart. So my other sister, we're 4 years apart. So when Mama had Angelia, my first year in college, and then she started growing up. Then it was like Marley number, we'd all be together, it was like I was calling her Marley, and then the other was Marley too, but nobody calls my sister Marley except for me and my best friend Paula. So we got Marley number 1, which is my sister Meredith, and then we got Marley number 2 with thank you, Nick. She said we all look so good, which is Marley number 2, which is Angelia. But yes, Meredith said congratulations and hey, mommy. And
love all my daughters.
And I'm the favorite.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're the favorite, huh? But not your favoritism. You can get in trouble with that.
I'm sure they'll probably be staying in the next edition.
It sure will be, and we know that I'm really the favorite because I am the oldest of the 3 Ps in the pod, so we already know how that goes. So anyway, we just like to let them think that they the favorite, but that's okay. If I'm not the favorite, that's okay. I got all the grandma's wisdom, so I can take it like a champ, you know. I'll roll on over them. Inside joke. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Mama, for being with me, because I know you don't do social media. So thank you, Angelia, for going home to do other stuff too. And I said I'm gonna bring Mama live on MLK Day, because that would be the only way that I could do it, is that you're there to bring her live. So I appreciate your doing that for me. And thank you, everybody, for joining me. Mama said the long title is Transformation: How Mama's Wisdom Unlocks Secrets to Success, but I refer to it as Mama Said. Mama Said is available now for pre-order on Amazon. The link is in the broadcast, and it's dropping next month. She's ready to go. I just got my final edits back from my editor. She's ready to go. And Mama, I can't wait to bring Mama Said to the world. This is exciting. I'm probably more excited about this book, guys, than all the others because I've been working on it so long. And God has seen fit to let me and my mother continue to work on it and for her to be here with me as I bring it to you guys. So thank you so much, God. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Mama,
Thank
for your
you. Thank you for
patience
having
and
me.
teaching me. You're welcome. Thank you for teaching me to be a woman of my word because that's what you
By all
said.
means.
Your word
Your
is your
word is your
bond. If
bond.
I heard it once, I heard it my whole life. And to my audience, thank you. And remember, before you take care of anyone else, make sure you take care of yourself first. Bye now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.